All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 30 States webinar. I'm Urvashi, and with me is 30 States co-founder Rashmi.
Hello.
So today we are going to talk to entrepreneur couples who are partners in life as well as in business and ask them what it takes to run a business smoothly. And most importantly, who's the boss when it comes to taking decisions? Vijayalakshmi Natiyar and Mani Chinnaswamy are directors at Apache Ecologic Cotton Private Limited. They are based out of Pollachi in Tamil Nadu. Together, they founded Ethicus, India's first organic and sustainable farm-to-fashion brand in 2009. Mani is a third-generation cotton engineer. He pioneered India's first cotton contract farming model. In 2006, realizing that cotton is one of the biggest polluters in the country, he launched the Apache Ecologic Project in the eco-sensitive region of Kabini in Karnataka. Vijayalakshmi has a master's in textiles and clothing from SNDT Women's University, Mumbai. After that, she decided she wanted to use some of the organic cotton that was being grown by her husband to make handmade textiles. She is creative director at Ethicus. Ethicus has won several awards for its work, including the Transforming India Retail Award, instituted by the Ministry of Textiles and the Clothing Manufacturers Association of India. Welcome to the both of you. Our second couple is Madhvi and Venu Vipulancha. Venu is a postgraduate in mechanical engineering with over 26 years of experience in companies across many countries. 7 years back, he founded the Gandhipet Welfare Society, an NGO in Hyderabad, to address wet and dry waste management and set up 5 composting units for waste management in 5 villages of Rangareddy district. Venu is also an organic farmer focusing on cultivation of mangoes and vegetables. Madhvi is a pharmacist who worked in California for 4 years. She quit later to bring up their 2 sons. Madhvi wears many hats. She is a singer and artist and has an avid interest in gardening and natural farming. Madhvi and Venu started Mandala, a social enterprise to address the issue of single-use plastic and to empower rural women in Siddipet, Telangana. Mandala make biodegradable leaf plates, which are sold globally under the Vistaraku brand. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you very much.
So I'll take my first question to Vijay and Mani.
Urvashi, sorry,
Yeah.
I think Mani has some network issues, so he is not able to log in right now.
Okay.
So maybe we can ask.
Yeah, so then I'll start with Madhvi and Venu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you could tell us that between work and home, are there clearly demarcated lines or, does it spill over? How does it work to both of you?
Yeah. Sorry, could you please repeat?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying that, are there clearly demarcated lines between work and home or are they blurred and do they spill over?
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Yes,
Mani,
Work timings.
Work. Are they overlapping or is blurred or just specific?
Yes. How do you kind of maintain that?
Yeah, I mean, we try to maintain that. Actually, we start our factory around about 9 o'clock and ends at 5:30. So before that, before our workers, they come to our factory, we'll make sure that, we are ready, actually, properly dressed, and so that we'll wait for them so that they also take us seriously in terms of the timing wise. Okay. So
Yes.
at any given point of time, either myself or Madhvi are in the factory to take care of the workers. Okay. And of course, Madhvi, sometimes gets into the kitchen, to make sure that, we get the food on time.
Yes.
I try to finish it by 9:30.
Right.
The cooking, breakfast, and all, and then I'm with the ladies. So
Okay.
and again, it's like more or less we are dedicated to the timings
All right.
for work.
So you would say there is a demarcation between the two, no? Home and work. That
Yeah, it's completely like work timings. From 9:30 to 6, we are completely like busy. And then after 6, it's like our time. It's under the sky, sitting open under the open sky. It is like really relaxing.
Right. But I
Our,
guess
our screen is basically the sky.
Ah, beautiful. No, but I guess, work really never doesn't end for entrepreneurs. No, even after work, I'm sure you're busy with mails or checking some.
Oh yeah. That is always going on. Like work is
Yeah.
always going on, but that is fun. Like you're relaxing also, so it doesn't feel like work. So
Okay.
even sometimes it's like emergency and all. Otherwise, more or less, being an entrepreneur is more like a fun time, and we don't feel the pressure. We don't
Okay.
feel the pressure because one thing is we both are together. The work definitely gets extended early in the morning, from early morning to late evening sometimes. But it feels really good because you're working for your own company, and
Right.
but that is what you like to do. So feels
Yeah.
really good.
True. Okay. So, Vijay and Mani, you're there? I think
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll take the same question to you. I just asked them that, about these, there are there clearly demarcated lines between work and home? How does it work for you?
See, we live across from home.
Yes.
Your office is just across from home.
Okay.
And with kids off, we mostly at work. Work is with us, and when we are at home and at office. So it's very difficult to kind of separate the two, because both of us are in the same business. So there's no clear demarcation as home time or office time. Every day is work, and being together, I think we understand the pros of that and the cons of that.
Right.
So being across from work, the work finds you very close by. So people just walking home, and then it's literally we are almost 24/7 there.
Okay. Yeah. So it's difficult to kind of demarcate the two, have a strict line. You can hear me?
Yes.
I
Okay.
think there's a network issue in terms of audio.
Yeah.
I mean, we can hear absolutely fine.
Yes. No, I think a little bit with Vijay and Mani.
Okay. So we are using the Geo network. I think that's
farm.
in the farm. I think that's working pretty fine.
Okay.
All right. Starting.
We didn't have a ad break actually. So. Okay. So, if I can just ask that, like, for instance, when you have to take decisions, or if there is a difference of opinion, then how do you resolve that? How do you work around that?
See, generally at the first instance, we disagree. Okay. Then one of us will just cool down. Then, then we'll try to understand either what I'm saying or what she's saying. Then we both come to terms. Okay.
So first we talk about the issue. Then we
Right.
argue a little bit, and then finally, whatever it is, like, I allow Venu to take the decision. So, I
Okay.
mean, at least, but mostly the ideas are mine. So when the idea is mine, but I allow Venu to take the final decision.
That's good. You allow him to, anyway, you're taking the decision.
No, because that sounds good, it looks
Yeah.
good.
Yes,
And
true.
that is how it should be.
That's good for the home.
Okay. And for you, Vijay and Mani, how do you?
We work on the same office space. Initially, it was very difficult sitting in the same room, looking at faces, and then calling the decision and all that. So we came out with a very smart solution. So we created a small partition between us. That's Vijay's desk behind the partition, right? At least at least we don't have to see each other, but we can hear each other. So
jokes aside, I think we have a very clear demarcation as to what is his role and what is my role. And we try
Okay.
not to step onto that as much as possible.
Right.
So I don't step in. So he deals with all the raw material, the cotton, the growing of the cotton and all that. And I look after the production design. So I don't step into his territory and he does not step into mine.
even otherwise, I would not understand what he does. You know, it's very technical and more into fashion and all. So my
Right.
part is more physical handling of commodity, converting them into yarn and other things. So that
Yes.
world I am very confident about, because that's what we've been doing for almost 3 generations. So
Yes.
clear demarcation.
So if I can just, pick it up from there and ask you what exactly is it that you do, Mani, if you could just tell us briefly.
So we, if you're talking about the cotton part,
Yes.
we have three generations into cotton. Pollachi is known for growing extra long staple cotton. My grandfather started this ginning business where he would buy cotton from the farmers and then process it, basically separating the seed and the lint and putting them into various qualities and then supplying as per the needs of the textile mills around. There are plenty of textile mills around Coimbatore. So that's
Right.
how it started. And we branched off into sustainable cotton, which is organic, because at that point of time, genetically modified cotton was slowly being introduced into India. And a lot of the varieties have been threatened to go out of vogue because farmers took up to the new age seeds. So, but being a traditional farm, having come from a very traditional family, we said, let's sustain the varieties that we are known to and close to our hearts. So that's how we started this project, sustainable project with farmers in Karnataka, and getting them into certification, giving them the seed, supporting them, and buying back with a contract. The first ever contract farming was pioneered by us. So with guaranteed prices and all. And then once we did that, then it was too early for the domestic industry to take up. Yes, organic food, people would, you readily find a customer, but when it comes to textile, but basically into exports, that kind of volumes we were never into. So we were always pressing for finding a market for the fiber. That's when BG stepped in, said, why don't we do something out of it, value add. That's how Ethicus was born.
We wanted to start on a very small, scale operation as a nice hobby for me. And so I thought, how about me buying a little bit of the cotton from Mani and converting it into some kind of textile. But that slowly snowballed, and we thought, why not the two of us work together? So why don't we put both our energies into it and, do something together? So his expertise in growing the finest cotton and my expertise in design and color and, that world. Why not put it together to create something nice and, gives us an opportunity to be together also.
Right. And I believe you work with the artisans across India.
Yes. So we started Pollachi, where we work, is actually where all the famous cotton sarees are made. These are all hand-woven sarees. So Coimbatore, the whole Coimbatore area is very well known for its fine cotton sarees. So when we decided we wanted to value add our cotton, while the rest of our family was moving forward into mill-made and, the big volume, we thought we needed to work with handmade and, create smaller lots and, create unique designs. And that is where we were looking at. And it's been 11 years now, and we've also since 2017 started working with artisans across the country. So currently we work, besides our own local artisans, we work with 4 other centers.
Okay, right. All right. And for Madhvi and Venu?
Yeah, I mean,
how did the journey
So-
start for you? Because you were in the US and then you decided to come back.
yes.
Yes.
We were in California near basically San Francisco. I was working in Silicon Valley.
Right.
Primarily, I was working with the chip manufacturing companies for making the test sockets and blades for them for testing the chips actually. And
Yes.
Madhvi was working as a pharmacist there. And when we went actually to US, we wanted to actually, we never thought of staying back. We always wanted to come back. Primarily, basically, we wanted to raise our kids in our culture. That was the main thing actually. In fact, when we decided to come back, we were actually in the pinnacle of our careers. We were doing I was heading a Japanese company, and Madhvi was doing very good in her career and in the pharmacy. And the kids we were in a very good county actually in terms of the education wise. So the kids were also doing good and very happy. But we felt that staying out of your motherland is basically getting onto a giant wheel, and you cannot sit on the giant wheel for a long time. So you have to come back. You have to get down. So getting down is basically coming back to your hometown.
Yes.
So basically, then whatever money we saved, we have invested in the lands in Hyderabad, nearby Hyderabad, and that's where we have ended in a farm. For the last 2 years, we started with the weekend farming, and now for the last 7-8 years we were doing the weekend farming, and now we are completely into the farming, the national farming, the last 2 years. And recently we have in fact grown the turmeric, and so trying to create our own brand for our products, what we are going to grow in a farm. So also we started with Siraku almost 2.5 years back.
Yeah, actually it's a very recent venture, but because we are staying in the farm and handling these, we are able to finish the tasks given, and also we have luckily the media has helped us to advertise our product. We haven't advertised in any other way. So, and also we got a nice break. Now we have tied up with a company which manufactures and packs meat products. So they have used they're using our Vistaraku leaf boxes. So now we'll be setting up, this year is very crucial for us. Like we'll be setting up various units in different parts of the country. So that is a big thing for,
Right. Okay, that's great. So, given that you have, obviously it's like 24/7, more or less the work hours. So if you had to take a vacation or if there was a family event, how do you work that out?
Basically, we decide whether for any function, whether we both are required or one can suffice. That decision will make it.
But also due to Corona, we're not traveling at all. But only just one time we went to Turkey together. That was because of our product. They wanted to know about the story, so they invited us, and that was like a nice holiday.
Like business holiday together.
Yeah, I really enjoy holiday. I need a holiday. Yeah.
No, but then obviously you're not able to, I guess, vacation together as a family.
Yeah, we go together whenever the occasion comes. Yeah.
Yeah, we always make sure that we take small vacations, not like a week or something, 2 or 3.
Right. I think there's some network issue.
Yeah, there's a network issue there.
Okay, so I'll take the question to Vijay and Mani then.
Yeah, it should also be with us.
I think he's come back again.
Yeah. Okay.
Family affair.
So Venu, we missed the last part of what you were saying because there was some network issue. So
for me, the question.
Can you hear me? No, I just said that there was some network issue, so we missed the last part of what you were saying.
Yeah, basically we prefer to go as a family. We always would like to also include our both sons. We have both 2 sons we have, and because right now one younger one has joined us. He has completed his masters in product design from France, and he worked for a year in Chennai in the Butterfly Kitchen Appliances as a product designer. And during the pandemic, he came here and stayed with us for 3 months. And he said he liked our lifestyle, and he said he would like to join us.
And he has done his master's in sustainable design. So basically, he also wants to contribute to more designs, and he's been helping us to make these sustainable products, more and more different kinds.
All right. Very nice. Okay. So, Vijay and Mani, how do you guys take a vacation?
Basically, I love Viji's work because she does lots of road shows. Wherever she's got an exhibition, I would just tag along because my work ends once I have to fold those saris and put up in the hangers. Then I'm literally free to roam around and look around the towns wherever. But we love to travel. Travel has been something that we all, because being in cotton takes you places to Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, and deep interior towns where you normally don't go. And that is something we used to love together. Then added on with Ethicus road shows. And also we've been in the circuit of lecturing. So a lot of lecture calls across the country, even a couple of trips abroad.
Okay.
So those are the kind of things we always look forward to, interacting with people, sharing our experiences and knowledge.
So basically what we do is we go on a work trip, and then we extend that by a couple of days and do a little holiday or a small kind of a personal trip also combined with it, whether it's in India or abroad. So mainly the bigger trips are for work. The smaller trips are for our personal holiday kind of a trips. It's difficult to take longer breaks away from work. So we manage to take 2-3 days off once in a while for our, to refresh our minds and to kind of just feel much more fresh. So those are the kind of breaks that we do.
Otherwise, we live close to 2 tiger reserves, and there's plenty to see around locally, which is just an hour's drive away.
So luckily, we are blessed by living in a very beautiful place. So long drives and bird watching and things like that keeps us fresh.
Yes. No, in fact, I think for both of you, both the couples, you live in, I think, really beautiful places that are surrounded by nature and beauty. So that's a blessing.
Yes.
Far away from the mad crowd.
Yeah, far away from the rat race and far away from the cities.
Yeah, in fact, that reduces the pressure. That reduces the pressure to travel. And in fact, so many people try to come over to visit us because we are in these surroundings. So they wanted to experience. They can't go anywhere else during COVID time. So they are all coming here.
I mean, luckily we have a lot of visitors every day. In fact, our lunch is not, we never take alone. We have some other visitor from the family or from friends. So, we are blessed actually.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Lovely. Okay. And, if I could just ask you, because you've been in, for about 3 years, you've been doing your business now with Vistarku. So how easy or how difficult is it for startups in India? The environment that's there currently, how do you see that?
Yeah. See, basically, when we started this Vistarku, actually, in terms of financial assistance, we never approached any bank or MSME sector. We have not. We have just registered, and we have not really looked for funding. So whatever the funds we had, because as you know that whatever the small fund you need, when you start trying to get from the banks as a loan, it takes a lot of time. Okay. And it will take a lot of your energy and enthusiasm. Half of your energy and enthusiasm will go away in trying to go around and bribe these, bankers, all the officials and getting the small amount.
We actually went around the banks, but they didn't show promising efforts from their side. So then we started our own, and then we had actually sold a house, and we used some of the money for setting up the factory. And actually that was we were lucky to have some money to start off. Otherwise, it would have delayed a lot.
Very difficult, yes. Okay.
So coming back to the startups, definitely, you know, lot of schemes will come, but actually what I've seen is, if you even look at the Mudra, okay, they say that you can get just 10 lakh just like that. But when you go to the bank, you know, first of all, most of the banks are not aware of this. First of all, they are not aware of this. What is Mudra loan? Okay. And even they know, they say they put a lot of restrictions, you know, and eventually you have to put some security. You know, even for 10 lakhs, you have to put a security, you know.
Yes.
So somehow, you know, I don't know, the collateral they talk about, and somehow, you know, it was not encouraging at all. So I said,
my advice is like any startup, to start off small and then make it big, because once you start and you show the result, the banks are ready to offer you loans.
Yes.
So
Right.
that is my advice. Like, do something, show something, then approach the bank. That is
Right.
advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, luckily a lot of now venture capitalists are coming. A lot of, I mean, the situation in India is also changing. You know, a lot of angel investors. You know, a lot of crowdfunding is happening. Once you prove
Yes.
your concept, you know, that's another route to go. Basically, ours is a product what we're trying to make. You know, luckily because we had funds and we wanted to start immediately. And however small the product, what we realized, the amount of it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Marketing.
You know, when we started for the first 6 months, the machines were giving a lot of problems. You know, every minute there is a problem. So for 6 months, because luckily I'm a mechanical engineer, I could resolve all the problems by myself. You know, almost I have, you know, reinvented all the machines, and you know, I was repairing them because you know, because when you call the manufacturer, they say that they'll come after 10 days, after 1 week, and I cannot stop my production. You know, so it's a great experience, and it's a lot of hard work. So anybody who wants to, even our product is very, very small product, you know, but the amount of effort it goes to really bring to certain expectations, you know, of the customers, you know, a lot of hard work. And luckily, this year, I mean, from the last year, we started exporting to US and Hong Kong, and also to Germany. And we are trying up with some of the good companies, one of the German companies and one of the Canadian companies. So we are expecting a lot of growth this year.
Okay, great. That's nice to hear. Okay. And Vijay and Mani, if I can come to you, how would you say that, how is the business environment like for startups in India? What has been your experience?
No, for us, it was a continuous extension because we were already into commodity. And then for us to value add and move closer to the customer, that was a challenge that we put ourselves to, where we needed a product, a vehicle to reach out to the customer. And that was completely a new learning for us. That was the most difficult phase that we went through.
I think for us, ignorance was bliss. We didn't know that it would take so much of work and so much of hard work and so much of, you know, sleepless nights and so many years of effort into creating a product. And we didn't realize that creating a brand was so much of work. Had we known that, probably we would never have started. So I think in a way, ignorance was bliss. And as we hit a roadblock, we just kept surmounting it, found a solution, and kept moving ahead.
Yes.
So I think experience and sheer hard work and a lot of time, energy, and effort has gone into our work.
Yes.
And I think finally our faith and belief in ourselves is what has helped us move forward. We, in spite of being in handloom and, you know, with so many government schemes for handloom, we've not been able to, we've not got into any of those schemes. We've not been funded by the government in anything. It's too tedious a process. You need to be an NGO, you need to be a society, you have government interference and all that. We said we don't want all that. So with whatever funds, our own funds we had, we've got into it ourselves, and that is how we've moved forward.
Right. But I think since both of you were there together in this, that has helped.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
Urvashi, may I ask something here?
Yeah, sure, please.
okay, one side is that you both are here, both, and it applies both to you, Mani and Vijay, and Venu and Madhvi. But don't uncertainties increase when both of you are trying to, raise a venture, start a venture, see it up and running, and none of you has a stable job or a fixed income. Those months of uncertainty, how was it like? Did you know that it's gonna take off well? Or was there some kind of a period where you weren't sure whether
Yeah.
it would work or not?
Yeah, coming to us, we are not the entrepreneurs family. Okay, we started. We started. When we wanted to actually start this, we said 3 years back I've quit my corporate job, and before that we said that we should not have any EMIs. So the biggest challenge is having EMIs. At the end of the month, if you have to pay 1 lakh or 2 lakhs as an EMI, definitely that's a burden. So that's the reason we have sold one of our homes and cleared all our EMIs and all the education loans of my kids. So we completely became the debt free. Number one. Okay. Then when we came to the farm, we were only thinking of natural farming, but we were getting plenty of time, on our hands, and we said that we wanted to get into sustainable products. And the biggest challenge today is the biggest polluter is single-use plastic. So we wanted to really give some solution to single-use plastic, and we started in a very, very small way.
Monetarily, we didn't have any trouble as such because it's a simple life here. We don't have debts, and a product is it was going on. It was like no loss, no profit. But now we see some profit, good profit now coming. So yeah.
So moreover, it's the need of our product. So we didn't do any the serious marketing as such. All our marketing is to the social media, whether it's a Facebook or Instagram or our website.
Or people have
and luckily, we are socially well connected, and that's the reason that has really helped us. And this is a product everybody needs for every occasion and for all occasions. So and media also helped us a lot. The print media, the digital media has really helped us a lot.
Okay.
Mani, Vijay, did you have any issues? Was there a period of uncertainty when you were starting off, or
I would like to explain over here. See, when Mani decided that he didn't want to do the regular cotton and he wanted to work on only sustainable cotton, and then when we both decided that we wanted to work with handlooms, first it was the biggest difficulty was convincing his family that this is what we wanted to do, because as a family, as Mani said, that this is a 3-generational business, so we completely changed the way we were doing that same business. So what the family was used to was cotton being a very seasonal business. Half the year they're working 24 hours a day in and day out. Lorries of cotton come in, the whole factory is full of cotton, the factory is full of hundreds of people, and then bales and bales of cotton are going out of the factory. So this is what they were used to seeing. And suddenly when we decided on sustainable cotton, then the volume became lesser. And then when we went into handloom, then instead of bales and bales of packages, we were sending out few couriers every day, small packets of saris. So it was a very, very shocking experience, I think, for Mani's parents. And they were more worried. They said, you have 2 young sons, and you really have to think about a lot of things before you start doing all these kind of activities. But once they saw the result of it, once they started seeing people come in, once they started seeing that it is becoming sustainable, I think that's when they started having the confidence in that whole, in the whole thing that we were doing. So it was certainly, there were a couple of years of uncertainty. There was a time when the family was wondering, what are these two up to? There was a time of sometimes even self-doubt. My father would always say, don't be like a monkey. Don't hold on to this and that and hang in the middle. So if you want to do this, then you jump into this full feet with both your feet, and only then you're going to start working, full properly into it. So I think we just took that advice and just jumped in and started. I think the age was right. I think the energy level, the enthusiasm, all that was there. And so certainly we were able to do whatever it is that we did in the initial few years to start stabilizing into what we were.
Yes.
Here I would like to add one thing. Basically, in terms of worriness, actually, when both wife and husband, when they start something together, I think it gives a lot of confidence. I don't think that worriness will come into your mind actually, because always it at the back of mind, you'll always feel that, I have my partner, with me, I'm not doing something wrong, or going something, which is not,
Won't be right for the
won't be
family.
right for the family. Because when we both are there, it's always, it's a good support system which establishes, and it goes very well actually. That's what we have experienced. We never felt uncertainty. We were very sure that, the product is what we have selected and the technology, what we have added to that, definitely will fly. Of course, first year, we had definitely issues in selling, and basically because our branding was not that popular. People were not knowing.
But we never lost our trust.
But we were very confident that, it is the product, it is the product of the hour. So it has to fly. We were very, very confident actually. And when we both are working, we were not feeling very uncertainty at all.
Never felt.
Okay. Rashmi, are there any other
Yeah,
questions?
I also wanted to know from both Venu Madhvi and Mani Viji, what about your sons? Like Venu did mention that the younger son is looking forward to joining Vistaraku, but overall, what is it like? Since both parents are running an enterprise, does it become kind of a, that kids have to take it forward, or are your children looking at different careers?
No, actually he already joined. The younger one has already joined. And we have given him the responsibility, certain tasks that he has to design this and all that. So, and definitely Venu is also into designing, but Tanmay is completely into product design. So he is helping his dad completely. And we are also hoping our other older son also to join us. We are not forcing him, but he's also ready to come. So that is like it's going to be like the kids have to take it forward.
See, Rashmi, basically, number one, we wanted to make it as a family-run business.
Sorry?
Okay, we want to make it as a family-run business. Okay, and because the product is a sustainable product, and we wanted to come with more sustainable products. Fine. And luckily my younger son, he has joined us with his willingness, and definitely, in future they are the torch bearers. So it's a good, we are sharing our workload, in terms of three of us, so that it becomes easy. Number one. And as he's working with us, we're also training him in a lot of things. So as we go forward, they will be handling the business. Okay, so, and we're also planning, because both are into design. My elder one is into automotive design and the younger one is into product design. We're also planning to put up establish a design studio, so that, both can go hand in hand, because we are coming with a lot of sustainable products, and the design studio will help them to do our work, and also they can do other projects.
Fulfill their dreams.
Their dreams also. That's the reason.
Mani Viji?
Ours, like a little bit different story, because cotton is something that you need to have field exposure. That's how I was brought up. We used to go to the farms, interact with farmers, and go to the market yards. Again, classify the cotton, which is never taught in a school or a college. It's basically someone hand-holding you all the time. So that generation is totally different from the current generation. So our kids had a different kind of upbringing. So basically, we wanted to give them the freedom to choose their own careers. And if we build this company to a level where they are interested to come back, then the door is always open to them. The older one wanted to pursue a degree in law. So his interest was into sports law and sports management and all that. So he's off in his own trip. The other one has done commerce, and both of them advise us on a lot of stuff.
Having said that, I think very consciously or unconsciously, we have always involved them in our work. So right from when Mani used to travel on his all his cotton trips, we've been traveling with our boys since they were maybe a month old. So they have been with us, they've seen everything. So even today, if we have some visitors, they can easily take people around. They're very much in the know. They know what we do. They're very interested in the whole topic. But we also felt gone are those days where children just inherited a business just because their parents were running it. We think that they need to bring in more value. We think they need to bring in much more professionalism, because that is very, very important. And for that, they need to certainly go out, work a bit and come back. And that certainly helps them, I think, in today's times. So that professional education, I think the older one chose law, the younger one's interested in finance. So I think in their own way, they'll be, if they decide to come back into the family business, it will certainly add value to our business and, will help us go further.
Okay.
Urvashi, there's a question from Vedant.
Yeah.
Are we taking questions now?
Yes, we can definitely. Can you just repeat the question? I'm not able to.
So Vedant is asking, what is the advice for younger people looking to start out on their own, especially if they want to start up with a partner? Advice for
youngsters who want to
start on their own. Finance, Madhvi already mentioned that we need to, it's ideal to build some business and then approach for financing, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing for couples to start off something. When they are much younger, for us, it's like second half of our life we started. I would suggest that youngsters also take up like this, some entrepreneurship, and instead of, staying at, at home, working and all. This is like you're together, you're working some product. You're not on this 9 to 4, 9 to 4 job, like sitting at the computer desk and working. This is like people who are really interested on the field or they're very, they have their aims to do something. Definitely they should move forward, or rather than depending on these jobs, which is like very stressful. Sitting all the time, desk job, I think it's not very healthy also, just sitting and working for some other company. You can work for yourself, you can develop your product, and you can, take it forward. That is really good, giving more employment to people, and especially setting up companies or businesses, factories in the villages. I would suggest that is really good, because motivates the ladies or, the unemployed youth to get more jobs. That is what the future should be.
Actually, in fact, it's a less risk for the younger couples or the younger generation to get into the entrepreneurship, because it's a less risk. Because they have a lot of time. If they fail also, they'll have a lot of time to correct themselves. Okay. And as Madhvi has rightly said that in fact, the younger generation should look at the villages, because if the villages are not developed, definitely the country cannot develop. That's very, very important. And as today, as we are living in the farm for the last 2 years, we now are not at all interested to go into the cities at all. What is there in cities? The dust, pollution, all kinds of pollution. So basically, I always suggest the younger generation to come into the villages and see what the opportunities they can have for themselves, in setting, different kinds of other services
Some
or products.
processing units, or like Money is doing the cotton thing, sustainable cotton. There are so many ideas, like the farmers' produce is not being utilized properly, shelf
Yes.
life low, so you subtract them, and all these things are really lacking. India is lacking in all these things.
Especially India is like on the food processing.
Food processing.
Food processing has a very lot of opportunity, and the way our economy really can grow with the food processing, and luckily with the Modi's government, they are pushing onto the food processing industry. So lot can be done with the the employment. They can become the employers.
Right.
Okay. Are there
Money, Vijay, would you want to share your views?
Yeah, I think what they said is so true. We could do what we were doing because we were in a rural setup, and because we could see this opportunity in front of us. I don't know if we could have done this had we been living in the cities. So a huge today, I think a lot of children feel that the opportunities are only in the city. I say opportunities are everywhere. You just need to keep your eyes and your ears open, and every place, every situation, there is an opportunity. Just grab that. And especially when you are trying to work in as a couple, I would say have a very clear demarcation of what is your role. Have a very clear role clarity as far as the work is concerned, because it is very easy sometimes for the roles to kind of merge. And for you have to be very clear that at the workplace you're a professional. You're not taking on the role of a wife or a husband over there. So treat each other as a professional while you're at work, and add value to that. And while you're at home, okay, you may be a husband, wife, daughter-in-law, whatever that is, but at the workspace you are a professional, you are a qualified professional. So respect that, give them that space, and respect their judgment. I think that will take you a long way. And certainly there is no other better support than your spouse. And if you're at the workspace, I think that what they've already mentioned earlier, it is the biggest support that you could ever have.
Right.
Yep.
So it's a very good idea. I think youngsters, if they're thinking about getting into a profession, getting into a business as a couple, it's really nice. We've enjoyed all the time that we've been together. Yes, we've had some arguments and all that, but that's part of the package.
okay?
Yeah, that's true.
Urvashi, do you have any questions?
I don't think there are any other questions. Is there
Are there
anything
any
else?
other questions?
There aren't any other questions.
I'll ask Money, can you share your product details? Even I am interested in looking at it and doing something, because we belong to weavers family, and and we want to support the weavers. Can you explain a little
Great.
bit about
Which area are you?
We are right now, we are in a district called Siddipet.
Siddipet?
So in this district, a lot of Siddipet, Warangal, Karimnagar,
Weavers.
3 districts, a lot of weavers, and we are seriously looking at how we can really. Sirsila is another town
where textile park.
Textile park has been opened. Even in Warangal, textile park has been.
And Sirsila, they have opened textile parks. So to protect the handlooms, they have opened this textile parks.
So what we always tell youngsters is that the handloom has to run, but not necessarily just making the sari. It has to make any kind of fabric which is relevant to the day.
Well said, yeah. Well
So
said.
we have to look at a product which is suitable for today's age and day, the market requirement of today, and create that product. So
Yeah.
if it is a sari, it has to suit today's market. If it is the table linen, bed linen, or something for the home, whatever it is, it has to be, you have to put in a lot of effort in the design and the product development.
Absolutely. So, do you guys don't do the road shows in Hyderabad?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Okay. So next time when you're coming, so you have a home here.
So actually, while since you mentioned, we are looking for weavers because now we have some Andhra weavers here in-house where we support them, we give them space to stay and all. And so we give them good employment. So if you have weavers who are out of work, and definitely they can come and have a look around and definitely we have an opportunity for them.
Oh, great, great,
It
excellent.
will be wonderful. Yeah.
Definitely, we're going to bother you. So, Urvashi, please share Mani and Chinnaswamy's numbers.
Yes, yes,
So,
sure.
so I think
I'll do that.
we can start something else.
It's good that we could be the wire meeting for both of you also to kind of join.
Webinar is also forging business partnership.
Yes, wonderful.
Exchange business ideas. Yeah.
And
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
Rashmi, I don't think there are any other questions,
yes,
right?
yes, that's it.
Okay, great. So I think we had a wonderful discussion today. And, there's this saying that I think it said that it takes two to tango. And I think the couples here we have today have tangoed really well, if I can use that term. So I think they've all faced hardships and challenges, but with synergies between them and with support and motivation, they've all come out trumps. So I'd really like to thank Vijay and Mani and Madhvi and Venu for joining us today, and all the best, all of you. And I'd
Thank you. Thank you. Nice
Vijay
interacting with
joined
you
us.
all. Nice meeting you. Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining all the participants. Thanks for joining.
I think I should say thanks Urvashi and Rashmi, not only this conducting this interview, but I think we have found a good friends, good couple, to look forward.
Yeah, actually, we are really
Really nice.
impressed.
Wonderful.
We are also inspired by you because you're doing it since long time.
Same
We
here.
just
Same
started.
here. Likewise. Likewise. All the very best to you.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
என்ன